Royal News Network was on the ground to capture the arrival of the Japanese Emperor and Empress in Belgium, where they were officially welcomed by Princess Elisabeth. This marks the beginning of Japan's state visit to Belgium, although the formal state visit duties are not scheduled to begin until Tuesday, the 22nd. Even so, the arrival ceremony was significant, as it was the first time Princess Elisabeth had taken on this particular royal responsibility. As preparations were made for the arrival of the distinguished guests, military personnel stood ready to greet the imperial couple. After some waiting, the aircraft carrying the Emperor and Empress finally appeared. The Japanese government had provided a large aircraft for the journey, reflecting the importance of the visit. Trumpeters were also present for the ceremony and would later play a role in the official welcome. This state visit is especially meaningful because it is the first time a reigning Japanese emperor has visited Belgium since 1993. However, Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako are not strangers to the country. They previously visited Belgium in 1999 when they attended the wedding of the then Crown Prince and Crown Princess, who are now King Philippe and Queen Mathilde. It is therefore fitting that their daughter, Princess Elisabeth, was chosen to greet them upon their arrival. The visit is intended to commemorate 160 years of diplomatic relations between Japan and Belgium. These ties date back to the mid-19th century, around the period when Japan began opening itself to Western nations after a long era of isolation. The relationship officially began around 1866 and has continued to grow over the decades, making this visit an important opportunity to strengthen the bond between the two countries. As the convoy arrived, multiple vehicles could be seen transporting Princess Elisabeth's escort team, as well as the Japanese Emperor and Empress. Given the emperor's status as both a high-ranking diplomatic figure and Japan's head of state, Belgium organized a grand and formal welcome. Soon, Princess Elisabeth stepped out of a BMW wearing a white dress, a practical and elegant choice considering the extremely hot weather on the airport tarmac. The occasion was particularly noteworthy because it represented the first time Princess Elisabeth had carried out a state function of this nature, highlighting her growing role within the Belgian royal family. Princess Elisabeth recently graduated from Harvard University with a master's degree in public policy, and as she continues to grow into her future role, this welcoming ceremony marked one of her first major responsibilities connected to a state visit. The occasion was particularly significant because it showcased her increasing involvement in official royal duties. Adding to the excitement, Princess Elisabeth and her 3 younger siblings are also expected to attend the state banquet, making this an important moment not only for her personally, but also for the Belgian royal family as a whole. As the ceremony continued, the arrival of the Emperor and Empress was announced with a formal trumpet fanfare. The participation of Empress Masako was especially noteworthy because she has faced significant personal challenges throughout her time in the Japanese imperial family. For many years, she struggled with what was publicly described as an adjustment disorder, finding the pressures and expectations of royal life extremely difficult. As a result, she has often limited her public appearances and international travel. It is not uncommon to see Emperor Naruhito attending events alone, which makes her presence on this visit particularly meaningful. Her attendance demonstrates both personal resilience and a commitment to fulfilling her public role whenever possible. The challenges faced by Empress Masako have often been linked to the intense pressures of the Japanese imperial system. Under current succession rules, only males can inherit the throne. Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako have one daughter, while the next heir is the emperor's brother, the Crown Prince, followed by the Crown Prince's son, who is currently the only male heir of the younger generation. Because of this, much of the future continuity of the Japanese monarchy rests on a very small number of individuals, creating considerable pressure for the imperial family and particularly for future generations. Meanwhile, the Japanese imperial couple proceeded down the red carpet, greeting a line of dignitaries assembled to welcome them. The receiving line included a mixture of Belgian officials as well as representatives connected to Japan, likely including members of the Japanese diplomatic mission in Belgium. The atmosphere was formal yet warm as the Emperor and Empress exchanged greetings and conversations with those present. As the ceremony concluded, viewers were left to enjoy the interactions between the royal and diplomatic representatives, despite some minor camera movement caused by the challenges of recording the event. The reporter explained that managing both a camera and a phone at the same time was not always easy, and sometimes everything worked smoothly while other times it proved challenging. Viewers could also observe the constant movement of journalists and photographers around the arrival area. Only a select group of pool photographers had been granted access to the ceremony, which meant everyone was competing to capture the best possible images of the Japanese emperor and empress. Meanwhile, a larger group of reporters watched the arrivals from a raised platform nearby, giving them a clear view of the proceedings while allowing the official photographers to work closer to the action. For much of the remainder of the ceremony, the focus remained on the formal atmosphere, accompanied by music as the imperial couple continued their arrival activities. The event highlighted the significance of the state visit and provided an opportunity for members of the media to document the historic occasion from various angles. Despite the warm weather and the challenges of covering a highly coordinated royal event, the ceremony proceeded smoothly and offered plenty of memorable moments for those in attendance. In closing, the reporter thanked viewers for following the coverage of the opening stage of the Japanese state visit to Belgium. They expressed excitement about the extensive press access that had been granted for the visit and noted that there would be much more coverage to come in the following days. With additional events, ceremonies, and engagements scheduled throughout the state visit, the reporter looked forward to sharing further updates and insights with the audience.